let's move on to main topic number 1. And our first main topic today gets sent in to us by Preston Bell, who writes, "Hey, John, love the show and keep up the good work." Thank you so much, Preston. According to Hollywood Reporter, Martin Scorsese's upcoming film, Killers of the Flower Moon, that he has been shopping around to produce, has found a partner, which is Apple. Apple and Paramount are apparently in final talks to collaborate on what is now going to be a $150 million project. That's not true, as a matter of fact. Do you think that the final budget will go over, under? Thoughts? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yeah, we were talking about that. Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a project Marty Scorsese has been trying to get up and running for a bit. It was about $150 million for whatever reason, a period drama piece. I don't know why he needs that much money. But then the budget ballooned to $180 to $200 million, which is freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. At any rate, Paramount at that point, for those of you who weren't keeping up to date on this, Paramount at that point said, yeah, no, we can't do that. So even though Paramount had the rights, when Scorsese's budget kept going up and up, they gave Scorsese the permission with his management to go and shop the project around. So go off and shop, they did, and now they have found a partner, and that partner is Apple. Apple is going to be the production company of record, and they are going to finance the film, and it is going to come into around $180 to $200 million from the reports that I'm reading in Deadline. But there is a misunderstanding going around. That misunderstanding is that means that Killers of the Flower Moon is going to end up on Apple TV. It's not. Paramount is still going to be the distributor of the film, and because Marty Scorsese insisted, I told you this, he didn't want The Irishman on Netflix. Mm-hmm. He did not want The Irishman to go on Netflix, but that was the only way to get the damn film made. He wanted this movie in theaters, so they've made the deal that Paramount will be the distributor of the film, and it will get a theatrical release. Now, once it's done its theatrical run, then the exclusive place you're going to be able to find this Leo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Marty Scorsese film is going to be on Apple Plus TV, which is a good move for them. Aaron, yeah, we are talking about a company in Apple that can literally buy and sell Disney 8-10 times over. This is the richest company in the world.
Yeah.
They have nothing but money. So when they want to get established, they can throw all sorts of cash at it and not worry as much as the regular movie studios do about whether we take it. Because Apple right now is not trying to get a hit film. Apple right now is trying to establish their product, Apple TV Plus, as being one of the major players to play down. So they don't care if they lose money on this. They want to build the prestige. Just recently, they signed on that Tom Hanks film, Greyhound, that's now going to be an Apple TV Plus thing. Now they're going to be the producers of this movie that will be in theaters. So they got a lot of money to play with. Listen, kudos to Marty Scorsese. Him budgeting this movie at this is effing ridiculous. And one of the problems that is facing Hollywood today is the outrageous amount of spending on movies. Yeah. That being said, Marty Scorsese got everything he wanted. Mm-hmm. He got his cake and he gets to eat it too. And hats off, because he got a sucker to pay $180 to $200 million and he gets to still have his movie as a theatrical release, which it will never make money. This movie will never make money.
How can you say that?
Because look at the box office records of his previous films. Mm-hmm. At a $200 million budget, we're talking about a movie that probably is, after marketing, distribution, the theatrical, he's probably gonna have to make close to $600 million. And these period dramas, there are exceptions, but the vast majority of the time, I think we will all agree, the vast majority of the time, they don't make that much money.
Right.
But Apple doesn't really seem to care. So Marty Scorsese, listen, he literally got everything he wanted here. You hear about this whole turn of events. What do you make of this?
Well, first of all, just Apple in general, at some point, we're not there yet, but at some point I go, when do the laws of monopoly get involved in this? Because Apple is taking over Hollywood. And the fact that they're now in the producing game, they've always produced on a certain level, but this is next level production company. And they really are solidifying themselves as the major player that everyone else has to kind of play catch up to. It's not surprising. I was really excited when I saw that Paramount was involved in this because, Paramount has been struggling for a while. And so for the and we haven't even really talked much about Paramount, because not only their financial problems, but they just haven't really been churning out the product in the way that they used to as one of the biggest players in the game. So I'm excited that Paramount is involved. I was very skeptical at the idea that this was going to go straight to Apple TV. So I'm glad that you clarified that on it definitely having a theatrical release. But I'm going to say something that you might be a little surprised about.
All right.
I really think that the actor salaries need to be the whole setup just is wrong. It's wrong. Because the reason why we have these ballooning budgets is partly for the fact that Leo ain't doing this movie for less than $20 million. Robert De Niro is not doing this movie for less than, now I don't know what their current salaries are, but what happens is when you are an actor and you are not of that level, when you are not a $20 million, Cameron Diaz got $20 million for
and the vast majority of actors are not on that level.
Oh my God, like 99.9% of actors are not on that level. And so, yeah, it's amazing and it's great when Will Smith can ask for $20 million for his movie, as he should, because Tom Cruise is doing it and Leonardo DiCaprio is doing it. They're all doing it. So they're all competing on this very micro level with one another. But what happens is as their salaries go up, that leaves less and less money for everybody else. So all of a sudden, actors who used to be able to make a living, doing their supporting roles as actors, they're really having to try to find more and more work in order to pay their basic bills. What I think should happen on that level is if you are an actor like Leo DiCaprio and you're saying, hey, I'm so famous, I'm the reason why people are going to come see this movie, I bring value to this product, okay, why don't you take less of a salary and more back-end points? That way you can prove your worth. If you think, and your agents think, that the reason people are going to go see that movie is because you're in it, well, all right, then let's see if people actually pay to see the movie because you're in it. And then if they do, then great, you will get paid. You will probably get paid more than what you would make on the front end. But the idea that these budgets have to be so bloated, ripping money away from other potential projects, that could easily be made for far, far less than that, and also paying less money to other actors, other crew people. You got to skim from other areas in order to make those outrageous salaries work with the budget. So this is my plea to any of those $20 million and actors that are out there watching this. Get some back-end points and leave some for the rest of the crew.
The problem, of course, is that Rob and I were talking about this a few weeks ago. The studios over the last couple of years have been more and more tight about handing out points because they caught on that it was costing them more money to give out points. And listen, let's be clear. I don't personally have a problem with somebody taking what somebody else is willing to give them. I like for instance, in the world of sports, I don't mind that a quarterback accepts and takes $100 million deal.
Sure.
I blame the team for giving him a $100 million deal when he's not that good of a quarterback. I'm not saying Leo isn't that good. Leo's, of course, that good. And I will never besmirch anybody who is like, hey, listen, I'm in an opportunity where I believe these guys will give me X amount of dollars. I don't besmirch the person for taking it. I besmirch the company being willing to give that kind of money, because Brian Dennehy, who just passed away recently, of course, the great character actor Brian Dennehy, marvelous. I remember he was given this thing once and he talked about this specific issue. He goes, I just kind of recognized my career as more and more as these guys I would appear in these movies with, their salaries were getting higher. Mine was getting lower, and I was doing the same kind of roles. And, so that's kind of part of it too. But do you think any other director right now, other than say a Steven Spielberg or a Christopher Nolan, but there's got to be very, very few directors that have the clout that a Marty Scorsese has, that he can go to a studio and say, yeah, I know I agreed to make this movie for this amount, but now I want this amount. And have the studio bow to him and say, okay, well, we release you from it to go and shop it around, but we get to still be it. And then find a partner that says, okay, you want $200 million to make this period drama? Sure, here you go, Marty. There's not a lot of directors that can do that and have that kind of, and listen, I'm not pretending that Marty Scorsese hasn't earned that clout.
Right.
He's Marty effing Scorsese. Of course he has. But I wonder what he thinks about those comic book movies now. Yeah. Anyway, guys, question is, what do you think about this? I take my hat. Marty Scorsese found a way to jump through all the hoops, connect all the dots, and get everything he wanted. The full budget he wants for his movie, all the money that he wants, get somebody else to pay for it, and he's getting it as a theatrical release. He figured, listen, seriously, bravo. That is, not many people can pull that off. And he did. And I tip my hat to him for that. What do you guys think about that? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.